Now, Prince William has been spotted on his first royal engagement since the Princess of Wales' shock cancer diagnosis was revealed.
The Prince visited a surplus food redistribution charity in Surrey, where he reassured royal fans that he's taking good care of Kate after he accepted get well soon cards for both his wife and his father, the King.
Well, joining us on this now is royal commentator Afua Hagan. Afua, really good to see him out and about, actually.
Yeah.
How much should we interpret into this? You know, he's known for his dedication to charities generally, but the fact he is away from his wife, I take it as good news.
I think we can look at it like that, but remember that we didn't know that the Princess of Wales had cancer and he was out doing public engagements then. So I think we can take it that she's well enough to be left alone, that the children are okay, that they're going to school all right. He doesn't need to be there for them, you know, during the school day. I think this is brilliant for charities. Charities like this particular one really benefit from having a principal from the royal family come and visit them. There'll be lots of charities up and down the country who will be thinking, OK, great, we're going to have one of our principals out and about doing the service and bringing the publicity to them that they need.
And he very much wanted to maintain the focus on the charity yesterday, didn't he? There was a brief mention of Kate when he was given a card. We could talk about that. But, you know, there was a huge amount of scrutiny on what would not have been a pretty everyday engagement for him under normal circumstances.
Absolutely. Lots of people gathering outside. Obviously, this is peak interest.
Front of many of the pages.
Exactly.
Front pages today.
Because we didn't see him at all over Easter holidays. That time was dedicated after the Princess of Wales told us about her cancer diagnosis, dedicated to family, no public engagements whatsoever. This is kind of first day back on the job. So everybody very interested. And it kind of does put the spotlight, in a way, back on the Princess of Wales as well. People will now be thinking, OK, we've seen him, when are we going to see her? But we have to remember, we're not going to get a running commentary. We're not going to get regular updates.
So.
Absolutely. And I think the next thing we will hear will just be when she decides to come back, her first public engagement, you know, after recovery. And we just don't know when that will be.
Really interesting, actually, front page of the Daily Telegraph. And, of course, the caption there is he promises support for his wife rather than, you know, actually focusing on the charity work. Let's talk about his brother, because his brother has put something in writing which I think has also made a lot of people sit up and take notice. What's he done?
Well, yes. So this is some documents that came out yesterday that basically says that last year, on June the 29th, when himself and his wife, the Duchess of Sussex, we're talking about Prince Harry, of course, when the Duke and Duchess of Sussex moved their belongings from Frogmore Cottage, June the 29th, he put that as the day that he became a US citizen, basically began living in America. Didn't become a US citizen, excuse me.
He's a resident.
Yes, became a resident, began living in America and put that basically as his new place of residence. This was business documents that were filed at Company's House. And 29th of June, we know, is the day that the King said that basically he wanted Frogmore Cottage back. There was talk of other members of the royal family moving in there. And
so just to be clear, he basically chose that date because it was the date when he got kicked out of that residence rather than a date when he became a resident in the United States.
Yes, he's chosen that date. I wonder why. I'm not in touch because, you know, he'd been in the US for kind of 2-3 years by then. And I think maybe he thought he would always have a UK base. And if he doesn't have a UK base, then that was kind of the end of his time of living in the US. Becoming a US resident, not a citizen.
Yeah, and he couldn't put an address down as being resident in the UK on that official form because he doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Fact.
Is that what you're reading into it?
Well, there isn't a
it's
UK
true.
address anymore. There's nowhere to say that he is a UK resident because he doesn't have a home.
So he has to say, if that's the day that he moved his belongings from his UK home, he doesn't have one.
It's the last possible moment.
And is there any news on him, because he has said he wants to become a US citizen? Any news on that?
OK, he didn't actually say he wants to become a US citizen. When he was asked about it in an interview, he said it's something that he considered, but it's very far away from his mind at the moment. So there is no news on that at the moment. Of course, we're waiting for the revelation of his US visa documents. This is a freedom of information request in the US that's been made by this right-wing think tank called the Heritage Foundation, and it's about, you know, how he got his visa, whether he put down on his visa application that he'd taken drugs or not,
Yes.
or if there was special treatment. We're waiting for that to be revealed if it does. But President Biden has said...
US ambassador to the UK saying
Yes.
not going to reveal any documents during a Biden administration.
Exactly. And that Prince Harry is safe during a Biden administration, but the election looms near in November.
Indeed.
Shall we talk about Meghan's jam?
Yes. Have you got your jam yet, Sarah?
I haven't received
Because
my
I'm
jam
still waiting
yet.
for mine as
I
well.
haven't received
It's
mine.
unfortunate.
Her Montecito, American Riviera Orchard website.
Yes.
Set up in the United States.
Yep.
Still a holding page there. But there's a UK version, apparently.
Apparently.
Or not is all is not as it seems.
No, so this popped up yesterday that someone's put in American Riviera Orchard.co.uk, and it doesn't take you to anything American Riviera Orchard related. It takes you to a holding page that says something like forgiveness,
Yep.
permission, sending best wishes to Catherine, and then a link that takes you to the Trussell Trust. And the Trussell Trust are a charity that are working to end the need for food banks, basically.
In this country.
Yeah, in this country. Yep. Brilliant charity. And there's a link
Very
that
much
they're trying
in
to
line
raise.
with what Prince William was doing yesterday.
Indeed.
Exactly. And there's a link to take you to donate to them, and they're trying to raise £1,000. So someone, I mean, the line is that it's been hacked and hijacked. But actually, I think if Meghan Markle saw this, she'd be like, yeah, brilliant, donate to the Trussell Trust.
Well,
they're a
it's
great
not
charity.
hacking, is it? It's cyber squatting, if that.
It's
Yeah.
someone taking up that domain name.
Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah. I don't think she'll be bothered at all in any way, shape or form, because she's got the .com.
Great bit of marketing, I have to say, for
Absolutely.
a very good cause.
Absolutely.
So do I.
Afua, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Indeed.